Rain carved silver streaks down the gallery windows. Victoria Sterling stood motionless, watching the city blur into watercolor through the glass. At 28, she had built something beautiful from ashes. Now it was crumbling. The bank called again. Diego's voice cut through the silence like a blade. Her business partner held papers that felt like a death warrant. 6 weeks, maybe 8. The Sterling Art Gallery, her sanctuary for 3 years, was dying. The Harrington Group made another offer, Diego said softly. You mean sell to corporate vultures? Victoria's green eyes flashed. Never, the door chimed. A man stepped through, silhouetted against gray light. He moved like he owned the world. Charcoal suit, steel blue eyes, dark hair. Nathan Cross, tech billionaire. His face had haunted business magazines for years. Miss Sterling. His voice was deep, controlled. I'm here to make you an offer. Diego shifted protectively. Sir, if this is about the building, I need to hire you for an evening. Nathan's gaze locked onto Victoria, and electricity crackled between them. One night. $50,000. The number hung in the air like smoke. I don't understand, Victoria said carefully. I need a date. A charity gala next Saturday. You'll need to convince everyone there that you're completely infatuated with me. You want to hire me as an escort? I want to hire you as an actress. Nathan stepped closer. Expensive cologne mixed with something darker. One night of pretending to be madly in love with me. 50,000 cash, Victoria's heart hammered. Why me? He showed her a photo. A woman carved from marble and gold. Celeste Monroe. Society, darling. Perfection incarnate. My ex-fiancée, Nathan said, his voice like ice. She'll be at the gala with her new lover. My biggest business rival. You want to make her jealous. I want to show her exactly what she lost. His eyes darkened. Celeste threw me over for older money and political connections. She thought I'd come crawling back. Instead, I want her to see me with someone who makes her look like a pale imitation. Victoria studied his face, looking for cracks. And you think I can do that? I've done my research. You grew up in high society before your family lost everything in your father's scandal. You know how to move in those circles. But you also have something Celeste never did. He paused. Authenticity. The mention of her father hit like a fist. The fraud accusations, the lawsuits, society friends vanishing like smoke. Everything lost when she was 22. You've done your homework, she said coldly. I always research my investments. The question is, are you interested in saving your gallery? $50,000. Breathing room, survival, but the cost felt higher than money. What exactly would this performance entail? Nathan moved closer. Close enough that she could see silver flecks in his eyes. You'll be my devoted girlfriend. Hang on my every word. Laugh at my jokes. Make it clear to everyone watching that you can't keep your hands off me. Heat flashed through her. And you? She asked. What will you be doing while I'm performing this Oscar-worthy act? Nathan's mouth curved into something dangerous, making sure every man in that room wishes he was me. He reached into his jacket and pulled out an envelope. Half now, half after. Think about it, Miss Sterling. You have until tomorrow morning. He placed the envelope on her desk and walked toward the door. Mr. Cross, Victoria called out. He turned. If I do this, we do it my way. No touching unless I say so. No games. Just business. Nathan's smile widened, predatory and knowing. Miss Sterling, everything is a game. The question is whether you're brave enough to play. The door closed behind him. Victoria stared at the envelope. Diego moved beside her. You're not actually considering this? She picked up the envelope. Inside, a cashier's check for $25,000. He just saved my gallery, she whispered. Or bought you. Victoria looked at her reflection in the rain-streaked window. A ghost of the girl she used to be stared back. Maybe I'm buying myself back. She pulled out her phone and typed a message. I'm in, but we do this on my terms. 3 dots appeared immediately. We'll see about that. Car picks you up Saturday at 6. Wear something that makes me look good. Victoria's hands trembled as she set the phone down. Diego grabbed her shoulders. Vic, this man is dangerous. I know. She looked at him, her eyes bright with something between fear and exhilaration. That's exactly why I said yes. Outside, thunder rolled across the city. Inside, Victoria Sterling had just made a deal with the devil, and she couldn't shake the feeling that $50,000 was only the beginning of what this would cost her. The dress arrived Friday in a black box tied with silver ribbon. Victoria lifted it carefully. Midnight blue silk that caught the light like water. No price tag. Of course not. Men like Nathan Cross didn't think about price tags. Her phone buzzed. Try it on. Send proof. Victoria's jaw clenched. She photographed the dress still in the box and sent it back. I'm not your doll. His response came instantly. Tomorrow night you are. Get used to it. Saturday arrived too fast. The car was black and sleek, the driver silent. Victoria wore the dress because it fit perfectly, and she hated him for knowing it would. Her dark hair fell in waves over bare shoulders. Red lipstick, armor disguised as beauty. Nathan waited outside the Grand Hotel. He looked devastating in a tailored tuxedo. His eyes traveled slowly down her body, and she felt every second of that gaze like a physical touch. You clean up well, she said coolly. You look like a weapon. He offered his arm. Ready to destroy my ex? I'm ready to earn my money. His hand settled on her lower back as they entered. The ballroom was a cathedral of wealth, crystal chandeliers, string quartet, people dripping in diamonds and old money. Victoria recognized faces from her former life. They didn't recognize her. She'd been erased. Smile. Nathan murmured against her ear. You're madly in love with me, remember? Victoria turned into him, placing her hand on his chest. His heart beat strong and steady beneath her palm. She looked up through her lashes. Like this, something flickered in his eyes. Heat. Surprise. Exactly like that. They moved through the crowd. Nathan introduced her to senators, CEOs, venture capitalists. Victoria played her part perfectly. She laughed at his jokes, touched his arm, leaned into him like he was gravity itself. It should have felt like acting. It didn't. There she is, Nathan said quietly. Victoria followed his gaze. Celeste Monroe floated through the crowd in white and gold. Flawless, untouchable. Beside her, Blake Harrington smiled like a shark in a tailored suit. Old money, political dynasty, everything Nathan supposedly wasn't. Celeste saw them. Her perfect smile froze. Showtime, Nathan whispered. He pulled Victoria close, his hand spanning her waist. She tilted her face up to his, close enough to kiss. Close enough to see the storm in his eyes. Nathan, darling. Celeste glided over, Blake following. I didn't know you were seeing someone. Celeste. Nathan's voice was velvet over steel. This is Victoria Sterling. My girlfriend. Victoria extended her hand. It's lovely to meet you. Celeste's handshake was cold. Sterling? Any relation to Marcus Sterling? The name of Victoria's disgraced father hung in the air like poison. My father, yes. Oh. Celeste's smile sharpened. How brave of you to show your face in society again. Blake laughed. Nathan always did have a thing for charity cases. Victoria felt Nathan's hand tighten on her waist. She placed her hand over his, a gesture that looked intimate but was actually restraint. I prefer to think of myself as a survivor, Victoria said smoothly. Unlike some people, I don't need someone else's money to define my worth. Celeste's eyes flashed. Excuse me? You heard her, Nathan said softly. The danger in his voice was unmistakable. This is ridiculous. Blake stepped closer. Nathan, we need to talk about the Montgomery deal. Privately. I'm exactly where I want to be. With her? Celeste's composure cracked. Please, she's obviously here for your money. Just like she's probably sleeping with you for it. The words hit like a slap. Victoria felt Nathan move, but she was faster. She turned fully to Celeste, her smile sharp as broken glass. You're right about one thing. I do need money. My gallery is struggling. But at least when I'm with Nathan, it's honest. You threw him away for a bigger bank account. I wonder which of us is really the whore. Celeste's face went white. Blake grabbed her arm. We're leaving. No. Celeste jerked free. She looked at Nathan, and for a moment Victoria saw something real in her perfect face. Pain. Regret. Nathan, can we talk? Please, alone. Nathan's jaw worked. Victoria felt him hesitate and her stomach dropped. She stepped back. I'll get us drinks, she said quietly. She walked away before he could respond. At the bar, her hands shook as she ordered champagne. This was the job. Let him have his closure. Take the money and walk away. He's still in love with her. Victoria turned. A woman in red stood beside her. Late 50s. Elegant. Sharp eyes that missed nothing. Excuse me? Nathan Cross. He's still in love with Celeste Monroe. Anyone with eyes can see it. The woman smiled sadly. I'm Margaret Cross, Nathan's mother. Victoria's blood went cold. I didn't. No, Nathan had invited family. He didn't. I came because I needed to see this myself. Margaret accepted her martini from the bartender. You're not really his girlfriend, are you? There was no point lying. No. How much is he paying you? Enough. Margaret studied her. You're better than her, you know, Celeste. You have something she'll never have. What's that? A backbone. Margaret sipped her drink. But it won't matter. Nathan will always choose her. He spent 2 years trying to prove he's over her. He's not. This whole charade is just another way of trying to win her back. Victoria looked across the ballroom. Nathan and Celeste stood close together, talking intensely. His hand touched her arm. Familiar, intimate. I should go, Victoria said. Take the money, Margaret said, but protect your heart. My son destroys everything he touches when it comes to love. Victoria set down her glass and walked toward the exit. She made it to the lobby before Nathan caught her arm. Where are you going? Home. Your mother told me the truth. You're still in love with Celeste. You always have been. Victoria pulled free. This was never about revenge. It was about making her jealous enough to come back to you. Congratulations. It worked. Victoria, wait. Keep your money, Mr. Cross. I don't want it. She walked away. Behind her, she heard him calling her name. She didn't turn around. Outside, rain poured down. Victoria stood on the steps, letting it soak through her expensive dress. A car pulled up. Not Nathan's driver. Diego. He rolled down the window. I had a feeling you'd need an exit strategy. Victoria climbed in, shivering. Diego handed her his jacket. You okay? I'm an idiot, she whispered. What happened? I think I just walked away from the only thing that could save the gallery. She laughed bitterly. And the worst part? I don't even care. I care that she stopped. That he what? Victoria closed her eyes. That he made me feel something real in a fake relationship. Her phone buzzed. A text from Nathan. I'm sorry. Please let me explain. This isn't what you think. She deleted it without responding. The car pulled away from the hotel. Through the rear window, Victoria saw Nathan standing in the rain, watching her disappear. She told herself she didn't care. She told herself it was just a job. She told herself she hadn't just walked away from something that terrified and exhilarated her in equal measure. But when she got home and found a bank transfer notification on her phone for $50,000 with the message, "You earned every penny," she broke down and cried because Nathan Cross had just paid her for the one thing she'd never meant to sell, her heart. Victoria didn't return Nathan's calls. For 3 days, she buried herself in work. The $50,000 sat in her account like a wound. She paid off the bank, saved the gallery. It should have felt like victory. It felt like betrayal. Tuesday evening, Diego locked the gallery door and turned to face her. He's outside. Again. Victoria looked up from her desk. Tell him I'm busy. Vic, he's been standing in the rain for 2 hours. Just talk to him. Why? So he can explain how he's still in love with his ex. I already know that story. Diego sat across from her. Do you? Because from where I'm standing, you ran before getting the full picture. His mother told me. His mother. Diego's eyebrows rose. The same society matriarch who arranged his engagement to Celeste in the first place? That mother? Victoria's hand stilled on her keyboard. What? I did some research. Diego pulled out his phone. Margaret Cross practically orchestrated that entire relationship. Business merger disguised as romance. When Celeste left Nathan for Blake, it destroyed a deal worth millions. Margaret blamed Nathan for not keeping Celeste happy. That doesn't change anything, doesn't it? Diego stood. Talk to him, or don't. But stop pretending you don't care. He left through the back. Victoria sat in silence, rain drumming against windows. Finally, she grabbed her coat and walked outside. Nathan stood across the street, soaked through. His expensive suit clung to him. He looked like a man drowning on dry land. "You're going to catch pneumonia," Victoria called out. He looked up. Relief and something darker flashed across his face. "You answered. I'm asking you to leave. Not until you listen." Nathan crossed the street. Up close, he looked wrecked. Dark circles under his eyes, stubble shadowing his jaw. "What my mother told you was a lie." "Why would she lie?" "Because she's been trying to get me back together with Celeste for 2 years. Nathan's voice was raw. "The engagement was never about love. It was about business. Our families wanted to merge companies. I was 26 and stupid enough to think I could make it work. But Celeste never loved me. She loved what I represented. And you?" Victoria asked. "Did you love her?" Nathan looked away. Rain streamed down his face. "I thought I did. For a long time I thought I did. Then she left me for Blake. And I realized what I actually loved was the idea of being enough. Of being chosen. Of being worth something beyond my bank account. So you hired me to prove you'd moved on. I hired you because I saw your photo in a magazine article about struggling. Galleries." Nathan stepped closer. "You were standing in front of a painting, and you looked like you understood what it meant to lose everything and still believe in beauty. I hired you because you reminded me that there's more to life than revenge." Victoria's breath caught. "Don't do this." "Do what?" "Say things that make me want to believe you." "Why not?" "Because I can't afford to." The words tore out of her. "I can't afford to care about a man who lives in a different world. I can't afford to fall for someone who hired me like I was a service. I can't afford you, Nathan." "Then don't." Nathan's hands clenched at his sides. "Take the money, walk away. Forget this ever happened. That's what smart people do." "And what do you do?" He moved fast. One moment there was space between them. The next, his hands cupped her face. His eyes burned into hers. "I do the stupid thing. I chase the woman who walked away. I stand in the rain like an idiot because the thought of never seeing you again makes it hard to breathe." His thumb brushed her cheek. "What did Celeste say to me at the gala?" "Do you want to know?" "No. She said she made a mistake. She said she wanted me back. She said Blake was everything she thought she wanted. But he wasn't me." Pain lanced through Victoria. "So why are you here?" "Because I looked at her. This woman I thought I loved for 2 years. And all I could think about was you. How you defended me. How you called her out without flinching. How you walked away when you thought I'd betrayed you." Nathan's voice dropped. "I looked at Celeste and felt nothing. I looked at you walking away and felt everything." "This is insane," Victoria whispered. "I know. We barely know each other. I know. This will never work." "Probably not." Nathan's forehead touched hers. "But I'm asking anyway. Give me a real chance. Not a transaction. Not a performance, just us. Messy and complicated and real." Victoria's hands came up to his chest. She could push him away. She should push him away. Instead, she grabbed his soaked jacket and pulled him closer. "You hurt me," she said fiercely. "You made me feel cheap. I'm sorry. You paid me for something I was starting to give you for free. I know. I'm an idiot. Yes, you are." Victoria's eyes burned. "And if you break my heart, I will destroy you." Nathan's smile was beautiful and broken. "Fair enough," she kissed him first. Hard and desperate, tasting rain and regret, and something that felt dangerously like hope. He responded immediately, one hand tangling in her wet hair, the other pulling her against him. It wasn't gentle, it wasn't careful, it was everything the fake relationship hadn't been. Real. They broke apart, breathing hard. Nathan rested his forehead against hers. "Come home with me," he said. "Nathan, not for that. Just come home with me. Let me make you dinner. Let me prove this is real." Victoria searched his face. "Okay." They drove in silence, hands intertwined. His penthouse was glass and steel, city lights spreading below like fallen stars. Nathan cooked pasta while Victoria explored, touching expensive things that somehow felt empty. "You live like a museum," she called out. "I live like someone who was taught that appearances matter more than comfort." Nathan appeared with wine. "Celeste decorated this place. After she left, I couldn't bring myself to change it." "Why not?" "Because changing it meant admitting she was really gone. Admitting I'd wasted 2 years on someone who never saw me." He set down the wine. You changed it the moment you walked in. Suddenly, it doesn't look like a museum. It looks like a prison I can finally escape." They ate on the balcony, rain falling around them. Nathan told her about his childhood. A mother obsessed with status. A father who died when Nathan was young, leaving him to build an empire alone. The pressure to be perfect. The fear of never being enough. Victoria told him about her father's fall. The friends who vanished. The society that erased her. Building the gallery from nothing because art was the only thing that still made sense. "We're both running from our pasts," Nathan said. "Maybe we can run together." He smiled, and it transformed his face, made him look younger, less haunted. Victoria's phone rang. "Diego," she answered. "Vic, you need to come to the gallery. Now." "What's wrong?" "Just come, please." They arrived to find police cars and flashing lights. The gallery door hung open. Inside, destruction. Paintings slashed. Glass shattered. Red spray paint across the walls. Gold, digger, whore, fake. Victoria stood frozen. Nathan's arm went around her. "Who did this?" he asked the officer. "Security footage shows a woman. Blonde. We're running identification now." Nathan's phone buzzed. He looked at the screen and went pale. "What?" Victoria demanded. He showed her. A text from an unknown number. A photo of Victoria at the gala, circled in red. Below it, a message. "He's mine. Stay away or this is just the beginning. Celeste." Victoria whispered. But Nathan was staring at his phone, his face carved from ice. "Not Celeste," he said quietly. "Celeste is in Paris. She left yesterday. This is someone else." He scrolled to another message, another photo. This one was from inside his penthouse. Tonight. Victoria on the balcony, caught through the window. Someone had been watching them. Someone who knew where they'd be. Someone close enough to follow them. "Nathan." Victoria's voice shook. "Who else knew about the gala arrangement?" He looked up, realization dawning like horror. "My mother," he said. "My mother knew everything." They confronted Margaret Cross at her estate the next morning. The mansion rose like a monument to old money, all stone and ivy and secrets. Margaret sat in her study, a cup of tea perfectly balanced. She didn't look surprised to see them. "Nathan, Victoria, how lovely." "Cut the act." Nathan's voice was ice. "Did you vandalize Victoria's gallery?" "Vandalize?" Margaret's laugh was delicate, poisonous. "Darling, I don't do manual labor. I hire people for that." Victoria stepped forward. "You sent those messages. You had someone destroy my work." "I sent a warning." Margaret set down her teacup with precise control. "You were supposed to be a performance, Miss Sterling. One night, then disappear. Instead, you sank your claws into my son." "She didn't," Nathan started. "Quiet." Margaret's voice cracked like a whip. "I arranged everything perfectly. The gala, Celeste's attendance, even planting doubts in Victoria's mind. You were supposed to realize Celeste was your only real option. Instead, you chose this." She gestured at Victoria like she was something distasteful. "This woman whose father destroyed lives, whose family name is synonymous with fraud. Do you know what the board said when they heard you were seeing her? They're calling for your resignation." Nathan's jaw clenched. "The board answers to me. The board answers to shareholders. And I control enough shares to make things very difficult for you." Margaret stood, her elegant frame radiating controlled fury. "Marry Celeste. Rebuild your reputation. Or watch your company crumble. Your choice. That's not a choice. That's blackmail. That's business, darling. Something your father understood before his heart gave out from the stress of building Crosstech." Margaret's smile was sharp. "He died making this company great. Will you destroy it for a woman you barely know?" The words hit like bullets. Nathan's face went white. "That's enough," Victoria said quietly. Margaret turned to her. "Excuse me?" "I said that's enough." Victoria's voice was steady despite the rage burning through her. "You've made your point. Nathan can have the company or he can have me. Fine. The answer is simple." She looked at Nathan. His eyes were storm-dark, conflicted. "Choose the company," Victoria said. "Victoria, no, choose it. Your father died building Crosstech. Thousands of people depend on it. I won't be the reason it falls." She forced herself to smile. "Besides, your mother is right. We barely know each other. This was fun while it lasted, but let's not pretend it was real." The lie tasted like ash. Nathan grabbed her arm. Don't do this. I'm not doing anything except being realistic. Victoria pulled free. Thank you for the $50,000. It saved my gallery. But that's all this ever was. A transaction. She walked toward the door. Each step felt like dying. Victoria, Nathan's voice broke. Please. She stopped but didn't turn around. Your mother wins, Victoria said. She always was going to. People like me don't get happy endings with people like you. We were stupid to think otherwise. She left before he could respond. Outside, she made it to her car before the tears came. She drove blindly, not caring where she went, just needing to escape. Her phone rang. Diego. Where are you? He asked. Driving. Pull over now, we need to talk. Victoria found a parking lot and stopped. What is it? The police identified who vandalized the gallery. It wasn't Margaret. Victoria's blood went cold. Then who? Blake Harrington. The name didn't make sense. Why would Blake? Because he's been sabotaging Nathan for months. Corporate espionage, hostile takeovers, everything. Destroying your gallery was his way of breaking Nathan's focus. Diego's voice was grim. Vic, there's more. Blake has been feeding information to Margaret. They're working together. Why? Blake wants Crosstech. Margaret wants Nathan married to Celeste. They made a deal. Blake helps destroy Nathan's relationship with you. Margaret convinces Nathan to marry Celeste and merge the companies. Then Blake takes over once he's family. Victoria's mind raced. Does Nathan know? Not yet. But Vic, there's something else. Something worse. Diego paused. Your father's scandal 7 years ago. Blake Harrington was the one who exposed it. He destroyed your family to eliminate business competition. The world tilted. What? I found financial records. Blake paid journalists to dig up dirt on your father's firm. He fabricated evidence. Your father wasn't guilty of fraud. He was framed. Victoria couldn't breathe. 7 years? 7 years of shame and guilt and rebuilding from ashes. All because of Blake Harrington. I'm sending you everything, Diego said. But Vic, you need to tell Nathan. Blake is planning something. Tonight. At the Crosstech board meeting. Victoria hung up and stared at the evidence loading on her phone. Documents, bank transfers, emails, everything proving Blake's manipulation, everything proving her father's innocence, everything proving Nathan was walking into a trap. She should let it happen. Margaret had made the choice clear. She should drive away and let Nathan figure it out himself. Instead, she turned the car around and drove toward Crosstech headquarters. The board meeting was on the top floor. Victoria burst through the doors to find Nathan surrounded by men in suits. Margaret sat at the head of the table, Blake beside her, both wearing matching expressions of triumph. Miss Sterling, Margaret said coldly, this is a private meeting. Then it's about to become public. Victoria slammed her phone on the table. Blake Harrington has been sabotaging Crosstech for months. He vandalized my gallery. He's been feeding you information, Margaret, in exchange for helping him take over this company. Blake laughed. That's absurd, is it? Victoria pulled up the documents. Because I have financial records, emails, everything proving corporate espionage. Nathan grabbed the phone. His face hardened as he read. Nathan, Margaret said carefully. Don't believe her. She's telling the truth. Nathan looked up, his eyes blazing. I recognize these accounts. Blake, you son of a... Wait. Blake stood, his composure cracking. Think about what you're doing. I can offer you twice what this company is worth. Walk away now, and everyone wins. Everyone except the thousands of employees who would lose their jobs. Nathan's voice was deadly calm. Security! Blake moved fast. He grabbed Victoria, pulling her against him. Cold metal pressed against her ribs. Nobody moves, Blake said. Or I put a bullet in her. The room froze. Nathan's face went white. Let her go, he said. This is between us. No, it's not. It stopped being between us when you chose her over Celeste. Over the business. Over everything that matters. Blake's arm tightened around Victoria's throat. You want to know the truth, Cross? Your father didn't have a heart attack. I made sure he had one. The confession hung in the air like poison. What? Nathan's voice was barely audible. He was going to expose my dealings. So I arranged for his medication to be tampered with. He died thinking he failed you. He died alone because of me. Blake smiled. "And now you'll watch this woman die the same way." Everything happened at once. Nathan lunged forward. Blake's finger tightened on the trigger. Victoria threw her weight backward, knocking Blake off balance. The gun went off. Pain exploded through Victoria's side. She fell, the world tilting. Someone was screaming. Hands grabbed her. Nathan's face swam above her, white with terror. "Stay with me," he was saying. "Please, God, stay with me." "Nathan." Victoria's voice was weak. "The documents. Use them." "I don't care about the documents." "I do." She grabbed his jacket with bloody hands. "Finish this. Make him pay. For your father. For my father. For everyone he destroyed. You're not dying. You're not leaving me. I'm not planning on it." Victoria managed a smile. "But just in case, you should know something." "What?" "It was real, all of it. From the moment you walked into my gallery." Her eyes fluttered. "Worth more than 50,000. "Victoria, no." Darkness pulled her under. The last thing she heard was Nathan's voice, broken and desperate, calling her name, and somewhere in the distance, sirens screaming toward the building. Victoria woke to white walls and the smell of disinfectant. Pain radiated through her side with each breath. Nathan sat beside her bed, his hand wrapped around hers. He looked like he hadn't slept in days. "Hey," she whispered. His head snapped up. Relief and exhaustion warred across his face. "You're awake. How long?" 3 days. The bullet went through. No permanent damage, but you lost a lot of blood." Nathan's grip tightened. "You almost died, Blake. In custody. Murder charges for my father. Attempted murder for you. Corporate espionage. Fraud. He'll spend the rest of his life in prison." Nathan's voice was hollow. "Margaret is being investigated as an accessory. The board is in chaos. Crosstech? Surviving. Barely. But I don't care about Crosstech right now. I care about you." Victoria studied his face, the dark circles, the stubble, the raw devastation in his eyes. "You look terrible." "I thought I lost you." Nathan stood, pacing. "When that gun went off, when you fell, He stopped. "I would have burned Crosstech to the ground if it meant saving you. My father's legacy, my life's work, all of it, none of it mattered compared to you. Nathan, let me finish." He returned to her side, kneeling so their eyes were level. "You sacrificed yourself. You walked into that building knowing it was dangerous. You did it to save me, to save a company you had no stake in, to save a man who hired you like you were nothing." "You're not nothing to me," Victoria said softly. "And you're everything to me. That's the problem. That's what terrifies me." Nathan's hand cupped her face. "I spent 2 years thinking I loved Celeste. I didn't know what love was. Love isn't perfect Instagram photos and society approval. Love is standing in the rain like an idiot. Love is choosing someone even when it costs you everything. Love is this." Tears slipped down Victoria's cheeks. "This is crazy." "The best things usually are. We've known each other 3 weeks. Felt like a lifetime. Your mother will never accept me. My mother is being investigated for conspiracy. I've cut all ties." Nathan's smile was bitter. "Turns out when you choose yourself over family expectations, you find out who really matters. The board can accept it or resign. I'm done living my life for other people's approval." His thumb brushed away her tears. "I'm done pretending I don't feel what I feel. I love you, Victoria Sterling. I loved you when you called out Celeste. I loved you when you walked away from the gala. I loved you when you burst into that boardroom to save me. And I'll love you every day after if you let me." Victoria's breath caught. "You love me. Completely. Irrationally. Probably unwisely. I love you too," she whispered. "I have since you stood in the rain outside my gallery looking like a drowned idiot." Nathan laughed, the sound broken and beautiful. "We're a mess. The best kind of mess." He kissed her then, gentle, careful of her injuries. But underneath the gentleness was a promise, a future, something real, built from the wreckage of pretense. When they broke apart, Victoria touched his face. "What happens now?" "Now?" Nathan stood. "Now you heal. Then we rebuild. Your gallery, my company, our lives, together. That simple? That complicated?" He smiled. "But worth it." Diego arrived an hour later with flowers and news. The press is calling you a hero. Woman who exposed corporate conspiracy. Your gallery is famous now. We've had 50 requests for interviews. I don't want to be famous, Victoria said. Too late. You're trending. Diego showed her his phone. Social media exploded with the story. Blake's arrest. Margaret's fall from grace. Nathan Cross choosing love over legacy. And in the center of it all, a photo someone had taken through the hospital window. Nathan asleep in the chair beside Victoria's bed, their hands intertwined. The caption, "Real love looks like this." "We're a spectacle," Victoria said. "You always were." Diego grinned. "Might as well profit from it." The investigation cleared Victoria's father posthumously. 7 years too late for him to know, but early enough for Victoria to reclaim her family name. The Sterling Gallery became a symbol of resilience. Artists flocked to show their work there. Crosstech survived the scandal. Nathan stepped down as CEO temporarily, installing an independent board to restore trust. He spent his time working with Victoria, learning about art, discovering a passion he'd buried beneath ambition. Margaret Cross was convicted as an accessory to corporate crimes. Her society empire crumbled. In her sentencing, she looked at Nathan once. He didn't look back. Celeste Monroe sent flowers with a note. "I'm sorry I never saw who you really were. Be happy." Nathan threw the flowers away. Victoria kept the note. 6 months after the shooting, Victoria stood in the gallery at a private event. Rain streaked the windows, just like the day Nathan had first walked through her door. But this time the gallery was full of life, laughter, art, hope. Nathan found her by her favorite painting. The bold abstract that had hung there since the beginning. "Reminds me of us," he said. "Chaotic, beautiful, impossible to define." "Expensive?" Victoria teased. "Priceless." He pulled a small box from his pocket. "Speaking of which," Victoria's breath stopped. Nathan opened the box. Inside a ring, not a diamond, a deep blue sapphire surrounded by smaller stones. Unique, imperfect, stunning. "I'm not doing this the traditional way," Nathan said, "because nothing about us has been traditional. I'm not asking you to complete me or save me or fix me. I'm asking you to choose the messy, complicated, occasionally disastrous adventure of building a life together. I'm asking you to take a chance on a man who once hired you as a fake date and fell in love with you for real. Nathan, I'm asking you to marry me, Victoria Sterling. Not because it makes business sense or looks good on paper, but because I can't imagine my life without you in it. Because you make me better. Because I love you more than I thought it was possible to love anyone." Victoria looked at the ring, at Nathan, at the gallery they'd saved together, at the life they'd built from ashes and rain and impossible choices. "Yes," she whispered. "Yes?" "Yes," she laughed through tears. "Yes, I'll marry you, you impossible man." He slid the ring onto her finger. It fit perfectly. Of course it did. Nathan Cross always did his research. They kissed as rain poured down outside. Around them, the gallery hummed with life. Diego cheered from across the room. Other guests applauded. "You know this won't be easy," Victoria said against Nathan's lips. "People will always talk. Always judge. Let them talk. Your world and my world are still so different. Then we'll build our own world. What if we fail?" Nathan pulled back to look at her. His eyes were clear, certain. "Then we fail together. But Victoria, I don't think we will. Because what we have, it's not built on money or status or appearances. It's built on something real. Something that survives bullets and betrayals and rain-soaked confrontations." "What's that?" "Truth." He kissed her forehead. "We see each other. Really see each other. Scars and all. And we choose each other anyway." Outside, the rain began to slow. Light broke through clouds, casting the city in gold. Victoria leaned into Nathan, feeling his heartbeat steady against her. "Thank you," she whispered. "For what? For walking into my gallery that day? For offering me $50,000 for a fake relationship? For being brave enough to want something real?" Nathan laughed. "Best investment I ever made." "I'm not an investment." "No." He turned her to face him. "You're not an investment. You're not a transaction. You're not a performance or a role or a job. You're the woman I love, the woman I choose, the woman who makes every risk worth taking." Victoria touched his face. I used to think love was supposed to be safe, predictable, easy. And now? Now I think love is standing in the rain, taking chances, choosing each other even when the world says you shouldn't. She smiled. I think love is terrifying and beautiful and absolutely worth it. Especially when it starts with a fake date, Nathan said. Especially then. They stood together as evening fell over the city. The Sterling Gallery glowed behind them, a beacon of everything they'd fought for. Outside, the world continued spinning. Inside, two people who'd found each other in the chaos held on tight. Nathan had walked in looking for revenge. He'd found redemption instead. Victoria had accepted $50,000 for a performance. She'd given her heart for free. In the end, they'd both gotten something far more valuable than money or status or perfect appearances. They'd gotten real. They'd gotten messy. They'd gotten each other, and that was worth everything, rain or shine. Scandal or success, together, always together. The end.